Alright everybody, how's it going? Awesome Soul here, and today we have all of the fantastic information that we have received from the State of the Game update news post that was made by Mark, the CEO of FreeJam. There is quite a lot to talk about, all of which are rather interesting, and there is a special little hidden cherry on top, a tweet, but I will talk about that near the end of the video, because that is very, very interesting, actually. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, of course, there are certain things that I have left out, but most of, if not all of, the important things are here. But again, if you would like to read it for yourself, link is in the description as always. It starts out with, due to the removal of tiers and rebalancing of the game, we also now have 5 times as many players available in matchmaking in all game modes. Again, because the removal of tiers made it from 5, well originally 10 matchmaking ranks basically, and then that was cut down to 5, and now there is only one pool, sort of, but then it matches your CPU. But there is some crossover. It's a lot more natural of a crossover, I guess you could say, than a hard limit. So all of that, they are saying, allows them to create more game modes, because players will be easily able to swap back and forth, I guess, something like that. Because if you guys remember Boss Fight, that was a bit of a mess with the old matchmaking system. So yeah, I can definitely see why making new game modes would be a little bit easier. At least, like, big kind of game modes like Boss Battle. Not saying we're getting Boss Battle, but we might, which would actually be cool. I would like to get Boss Battle back. Anyways, so they are making brand new game modes, and they are working on them as we speak. Yes, a new game mode is coming soon. How soon? Well, we don't exactly know. But soon is better than a long way off, I guess. Continuing on, it reads, we know for a lot of you the state of the economy and balance currently isn't perfect, but we will continue to tweak things as we progress closer to the full-scale launch out of early access. As I'm sure most of you know from watching my channel for a while, the launch out of early access and into beta will be later this year. So continuing on with the economy, they are not planning to add robits to crates. They would prefer to focus on polishing and improving the loot-based economy as opposed to moving back towards the old currency-based economy. And I don't know how I feel about this. Getting a little bit of robots in the case would be not too bad, but I think if they just iron out a lot of the other things, like the recycling cost, maybe improve that, and also make them more skill-based, like perhaps guarantee you get an epic if you're at the high CPU bracket, and basically, if you're lower down, perhaps guarantee you a rare, or when you're just starting out, guarantee you maybe 2 uncommons, or something like that. They're also planning on improving the matchmaking, so large CPU imbalances will not happen again. So here are some things that a lot of people have been wanting when it comes to the whole crate system. They are going to make it easier for you to recycle things that you don't want. I assume by this they mean a recycle button when you open the crate, so if you get something you don't want, you can click the recycle button on that part and it will instantaneously be recycled, as opposed to having to open the crate, empty the crate, open up another tab, scroll down, find the item, and then recycle. So that'll be quite nice. It'll streamline the process a fair bit. Also, you will be able to skip the crate animation, and you'll be able to save them up and open them whenever you want, which will also be nice, because say you're in a platoon with a bunch of friends, and they're like, go, 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 we need to hurry up and get into the queue. And you don't want to be sitting around opening a Protonium crate that gives you a bunch of rares and epics. And also on that note, you can fast forward crate openings. So maybe if you hold down the mouse button, instead of it pausing for like 2 seconds and then being like, rare, and then you open up another one, or another one drops rather, pauses, epic, and then it keeps doing that. It can take quite a while. I never had a problem with that myself, but I guess certain impatient people out there, cough cough obelisk, I know you're probably not even watching this, but anyways, yeah, that'll be good though, because again, you can save the crates up for later. After you're done playing with your friends, you want to just chill out in your garage bay and open up a bunch of crates. It'll be kind of nice. So here is what they're planning to do for their, quote, next steps. They say here, with Epic Loot complete, Phase 2 complete, and our new back-end server technology fully up and running, the entire development team is now focused on improving the game and to deliver more things to you that you want. So that's very good, because they've been working on that back-end technology for quite a while. They were at the whim of, I think, Amazon? I think they're using Amazon servers. And I'm sure, as a lot of you veterans remember, they had a few server problems, and when they went down, they couldn't really do anything. So now, when the servers go down, they can be like, oh, we know exactly what to do because we programmed these ourselves. And hopefully they will go back up relatively quickly. But they haven't had nearly as many server mishaps as they've had in the past, so good sign of things to come. Anyways, we have started on these things and are focusing on 5 main areas, which will be detailed right about now. Quality of life being the first one. So coming in this week's update, yes, you heard right, this week's update. And as I'm sure you're aware, pretty much every update from FreeJam drops on a Thursday. So these are based on user requests, and first up we have commas. Yes, I know, seems like a tiny little detail, but again, it's a quality of life thing. Most quality of life things are pretty tiny. But it's something that a lot of people have been wanting. It's basically just to improve the readability of everything in-game, because the numbers can get fairly large, and it is a whole lot easier if you have a comma to separate it. Another one they're adding is the ability to place components directly on the ground without having to attach it to a block first. So basically, if you got a mech leg or a tank track, before this, you would have to place one single cube on the ground, or more, but you only really needed one, and then attach the tank track or the mech leg to that. Now, however, you can start building your mech right away without having to build a block. You can simply place down your mech legs wherever you want and start building. Now, here's a pretty big one, actually. Strafing. Yes, they are starting the process of adding strafing to the game. It will start out by having it only available for mech legs and insect legs, and then they will be moving on to hover blades after that, and then the rest of the parts to follow. How will this work exactly? Well, it's gonna work something like this. So if you're in your garage bay, there will be a toggleable button at the bottom of your bay. Presumably, this is how it's going to work. They didn't exactly show off any pictures or anything, but this is the picture that I had in my head after reading it. How it's going to work is, there are going to be 2 different control schemes for your bot, and you can choose one per bay. So it's not like it's in your settings, and you can swap between that. It's going to be per robot, which will be nice. So the classic / current control scheme is, well, exactly what we have now. Use A and D to turn your robot, and you can still aim with the mouse, move forward and backward. And then there will be the new control scheme for this update. So how they've said this one's going to work is it's basically going to be more of a traditional first-person shooter sort of control scheme, where you use the mouse to turn your bot rather than the current A and D keys, and the A and D keys will then be turned into the strafe left and right keys. So this will be pretty awesome, actually. The gameplay that you're currently watching, the bot, is called the Law, and I've had a lot of problems with being able to aim the Mega SMGs and having them both hit at the same time, but with this new control scheme, this will definitely benefit this kind of bot, because then you can aim your mouse and your whole bot will turn, basically allowing both guns to shoot at the same time. It's not really that important if you have top mounts, but if you have a lot of side-mounted weapons, this is something that is very, very useful to have. But again, what is very nice is you can toggle it per bot. So if you just overall prefer the old scheme, you can stick with that. Or you can experiment with a few bots, or you can switch all of your bots over to this new scheme. And the last quality of life thing isn't exactly a feature they're adding to the game, but rather their website. So they will be having a poll, basically a list of questions or, I guess, quality of life features that you would like to be added to the game. Whichever one gets the most votes, or I guess whatever is in the top of the voting, will then be added to the game in the next update. Which will be pretty cool, because quality of life things generally are fairly small, and if FreeJam knows exactly what we want in the next update, then they can quickly churn those out, hopefully, and then cram them into the next update. So keep an eye on robocraftgame.com for that. I would recommend checking there. They say later this week, so probably after or possibly the day of the update. Again, presumably this Thursday, but that's not confirmed. And social features. Yes, something that, again, a lot of people, myself included, have been wanting for a very, 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 very long time. So they are doing a complete overhaul to the chat system. They are overhauling the platoon system as well. I'm not entirely sure how that could be overhauled, but we will have to wait and see. I'm very excited about that one. And I'm even more excited for clans. Yes, we are finally getting clans. I am absolutely excited for this because I will be making my own clan. And I'm not going to give the name away in case somebody tries to steal it. But it'll be cool, it'll be awesome, and I cannot wait. I'm sure pretty much everyone can be on the same page here with the whole excitement for clans. Next up, we have player retention. So this means that they're adding tutorials, which is something they've been talking about for a fair while, and something that was brought up solely in this one, never really mentioned before as far as I'm aware. They're adding AI bot versions of current game modes. But that's pretty cool though, because I'm sure getting into this game can be a little bit tricky. It's been a long time, and a whole lot of updates since I first played, so I don't know how difficult it is to jump in. Again though, a simple tutorial will do wonders for player retention and helping out new players. And on top of that, they will be helping users to learn how to make good bots and help them play the game more easily. Hopefully, this means that we will finally be getting players that will know how to shoot the seams on towers. That alone has me excited. And of course, more content is on the way. So this means maps, game modes, weapons, blocks, and modules. Possibly movement types, but that kind of fits into blocks. But then again, weapons and modules also fit into blocks. but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Fingers crossed for more movement types, please. And the fifth and final thing is more community interaction. A lot of people have also been wanting this. A lot of people have been wanting a lot of things, I've noticed. Anyways, so they're doing more community events. There's one coming this week, which will be cool. And again, the community polls for quality of life features. And also, they're adding another community manager to work alongside Drognan to double the ability to process your feedback and get responses to you. And finally, just as a reminder to those who may be new to the channel, but this was detailed in the bottom half of the post, or well, the end of the post, basically. But this update is the last massive overhaul of the game. This update being the Epic Loot update. But yes, this is the last overhaul of the game, and from here on out, it's going to be nothing but new maps, game modes, weapons, blocks, modules, clans, you name it, it'll probably make it into the game. Unless you name something super insanely crazy that changes the fundamental of the game, then that's not going to happen. But, as I know a lot of you have been waiting for, the tweet that I talked about earlier on. Are you ready for the most fantastic piece of information you will ever hear in your entire life? Okay, maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic there. We have a tweet by Rick the Art Jammer. He is the head of the art team, if you didn't know. But he says, the first of the new maps will be designed specifically for a new game mode. Subsequent maps will prioritize different types of gameplay. I wonder, what would that possibly be? A map specifically designed for a game mode. What comes to mind? Possibly a race mode! Please be a race mode, Free Jam. I have been wanting this for so long. Race mode, please give it to me. I need it. So, on a scale of 0 to 0, 0 being you are absolutely insanely excited for a race mode, how excited for a race mode are you? I would like to know down below. Anyways, enough weirdness aside, I will go ahead and end the video here. I thank all of you for watching. I, of course, have been the Awesome Soul, and again, make sure you check the description down below for more information on what you heard here, and especially a fully detailed description of how the whole strafing system will work. That is very important, and again, in the description, it is linked. Check it out, I highly recommend it. And also, feedback from what you heard here down below, anything you are excited for, anything you are concerned about. Of course, I always like to hear from you guys. With that, I've been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.